This summary is about the book Think Less, Do More by Peter Hollins. In this book, you will learn about overcoming the inertia of perfectionism, understanding why action leads to motivation, the importance of taking calculated risks, effective prioritization strategies like the burner list and don't do list, and how to manage your energy using ultradian rhythms. Now, let's explore these ideas in detail. Many times we are unable to even start a task because we feel that we must do it perfectly. This thought process grabs hold of us, and we end up just thinking without actually doing anything. This is what is known as inertia, a state of stagnation or standstill. The easiest cure for this is to simply lower your standards. Imagine you want to learn a new skill, like painting or playing the guitar. If you think that you need to be like a professional artist on your very first try, you might never even begin. You will feel that you aren't good enough, and you will stop yourself, thinking there is no point in doing it unless you are perfect. But if you lower your standards and just draw a small doodle or try to play a simple melody, you will have made a start. Once a start is made, moving forward becomes easier. Similarly, when we think about a large task, it starts to feel so heavy that we can't work on it at all. Suppose you have to write a 10-page report and you are thinking that it must be absolutely perfect. The moment you think this, it will feel incredibly difficult and you will start procrastinating. But if you think that you just have to write the first paragraph, no matter how it turns out, you will be able to start the work. Our brain is more interested in seeing the finish line, but when it sees that the finish line is very far away, it gets scared. To overcome this, you just need to make your first step easy. If you want to start exercising, don't think that you have to do a 1-hour workout every day. Just think that you only have to do stretching for 5 minutes. Once you have done the stretching, you might feel like doing a little more on your own. Perfectionism often becomes the biggest enemy of progress. We assume that we must be perfect in everything. But the truth is that perfection never comes in a single stroke. It comes gradually through repeated attempts. The first draft is always bad. The first attempt is always average. And the first step is always unsteady. But if you accept this and give yourself permission to do average work in the beginning, you can defeat inertia. Think about when a child learns to walk. Does he start running without falling on the very first try? No. He falls, then gets up, falls again, and slowly learns to walk. If he thought that he wouldn't try until he could walk without falling, he would never be able to walk at all. We need to adopt this same mindset. Many times we think that if we keep low standards, our work will be useless, but this is not correct. Starting is the most difficult part of any task, and if you make that part easy, the journey ahead becomes easy on its own. When you start writing, you can edit slowly. When you start exercising, you can slowly increase your stamina. When you start a new business, you can slowly improve it. But if you keep thinking that the beginning itself must be perfect, you might never be able to start. Therefore, the next time you feel you are under too much pressure to do a task, just lower your standards a bit. Make your targets smaller. Break the work into small parts. And most importantly, do not burden yourself with being perfect. You only have to make a start, no matter how small that start is. Once you get into motion, the inertia will end on its own. Often, we think that we need motivation before doing any work. We believe that only when we feel motivated will we start that work. But the truth is quite the opposite. In reality, motivation is born from action. That is, if you take just the first step, even without motivation, you will slowly start getting motivation on your own. When you start doing something, you get involved in it, and then your mind itself starts inspiring you to move forward. Suppose you have to read a long book, but you don't feel like reading. You're thinking that when I am in the mood to read, I will read it. But if you take the action of reading just 2 pages, your brain will slowly start entering that process, and you will feel like reading a little more. This applies to anything: exercise, studying, work, or learning a new skill. If you make a start, motivation will come automatically. The problem with motivation is that it is a temporary thing. You can get motivated by a motivational video or speech, but that motivation does not last long. Therefore, if you rely only on motivation, you will start feeling lethargic again in a few days. But if you make a habit of taking action, you can achieve your targets even without motivation. The best example of this is a workout. Many people think that first they need to get in the mood to exercise, then they will go to the gym. But if they start with just 5 minutes of stretching, their body and mind will slowly get into it, and then they will feel like doing some more exercise. This principle applies to everything. When you start doing any work, your energy starts shifting towards it, and motivation starts generating automatically. Think about a time when you felt very lazy about doing a task, but for some reason, once you started it, you began to enjoy it.
The reason for this is that after taking action, your brain gets tuned to work in that direction. Sometimes we feel a lot of boredom at the start of a task, but if we continue it, that thing slowly starts seeming interesting. This is a psychological fact. When we get involved in an activity, our mind starts working in the direction of completing it. Another big benefit of this is that when you start taking action, the self-doubt and uncertainty inside you also slowly start to decrease. When you just keep thinking that a task is difficult, it seems even harder to you. But when you start doing it, you realize that it wasn't as difficult as you thought. Another interesting thing is that taking action can also change your self-image. If you think you are a lazy person, you will behave that way. But if you take action for just 5 minutes, you can create a new story about yourself. I am a person who can work even without motivation. Thinking this makes you ready to do even more. To understand why action is necessary for motivation, you can view it like a cycle. When you take an action, you get a small result. This result increases your confidence, and then you get the inspiration to do more. Slowly, this motivation keeps increasing, and you can bring big changes to your life. To put it simply, if you start a task despite not wanting to do it, in a short while you will start taking an interest in it yourself. And when you start doing this repeatedly, you won't need to wait for motivation. You will take action, and motivation will be born from action. Often, whenever we hear the word risk, fear arises in our minds. We feel that if we take a big step and it proves wrong, we might land in trouble. This thinking keeps us away from many new opportunities. But in reality, risk is not just danger. It can also be a medium for growth. When we view risk as an opportunity to learn and move forward rather than as a scary thing, our life can change completely. Think about if a child wants to learn to ride a bicycle, there is a risk of falling. If he never tries just out of the fear that he might fall, he will never be able to learn to ride a bicycle. But when he takes that risk, falls, gets up, and tries again, one day he can ride the bicycle comfortably without falling. This principle applies to our entire life. Many people prefer to stay in their comfort zone because there is no risk there. But staying in the comfort zone forces us to limit our lives. The biggest disadvantage of living in a comfort zone is that you are never able to grow. When you learn a new skill, start a new business, or take a new challenge, there is risk involved. But along with it, there are huge opportunities to learn and move forward. Taking a risk does not mean that you take any big step without thinking. It means that you take a calculated risk. That is, you analyze the situation first, understand its pros and cons, and then take an informed decision. When you take risks in this way, your chances of failure decrease and chances of success increase. Another big benefit of embracing risk is that it makes you mentally strong. When you repeatedly take small risks and learn from them, your capacity to face any challenge increases. You gain the confidence to face failure. Slowly, your mind starts considering failure as a learning process, not something to be afraid of. If you look at professional life, all the big entrepreneurs or leaders have taken a big risk at some point. If they were afraid of taking risks, perhaps they would not have reached that position today. Steve Jobs took a risk and built Apple. Elon Musk took a risk and established companies like Tesla and SpaceX. Behind every great success, there is definitely some risk. Similarly, in our personal life, if we always try to play it safe, we will never be able to reach our full potential. If a person is afraid to speak their heart to someone because there is a risk of rejection, they will never be able to express their feelings. But if they take the risk, they either will get success or they will learn something new from the rejection and move forward. Taking a risk doesn't mean that you will always win. Many times you will fail too, but these failures will teach you how to do things better next time. All the successful people in the world have failed many times, but they learned from every failure and did better the next time. If you are afraid of risk, first change your thinking. Do not see it as a threat, but consider it an opportunity. Whenever you get a new chance, don't just think about what could go wrong, but also think that if it goes right, how much you will benefit. This habit of thinking will make you proactive, and you will be able to grab more opportunities in your life. Another benefit of taking risks is that it improves your creativity and problem-solving skills. When you accept a new challenge, you have to step out of your comfort zone and find new solutions. This increases your thinking capacity, and you start feeling even more confident. So the next time an opportunity comes with a risk, don't just reject it just because of fear. Analyze it thoughtfully, and if you feel the risk is worth taking, definitely take it. It is possible that this proves to be your best decision and change your life completely. Often when we plan our day, we make a to-do list. In this, we write all the tasks we need to complete, but many times we see that our day ends and many tasks on our list remain incomplete. A big reason for this is that we don't pay attention to the things that distract us, things that don't let us stay focused. For this reason, we need not just a to-do list, but also a don't-do list. This is a list that contains all the things we should avoid so that our attention remains on the right place and we can stay productive. Imagine if you start scrolling social media on your phone as soon as you wake up in the morning. A lot of your time goes to waste. You think you will watch for just 5 minutes, but when you look at the clock again, 30 to 40 minutes have passed. Similarly, if you keep checking emails repeatedly throughout the day, or start reacting immediately to every small thing, your energy is spent in the wrong place. The don't do list helps in identifying such things so that you can avoid habits that destroy your time and productivity. To make this list, first, you have to see which activities distract your attention throughout the day. Do you check your phone in every small break? Do you waste too much time in unnecessary meetings? Do you spend too much time on social media without any plan? Note all these things down and put them in your don't do list. This will make it very clear to you what you need to avoid. The biggest benefit of the don't do list is that it teaches you discipline. When it is clear to you what you must not do, you can pay more attention to your important tasks. Suppose your list says, I will not use social media before 10 a.m. So whenever you feel like picking up the phone to look at Instagram or Twitter, your list will remind you that this is not in your priorities. Slowly, this will become a habit, and your productivity will start increasing. Many people think that just working hard brings success. But in reality, working smartly is more important. If you use your time correctly, instead of just staying busy, you can do more in less time. The don't-do list helps you understand which tasks are just wasting your time, and by avoiding them, you can direct your energy in the right direction. To make it even better, you can update your list from time to time. Maybe initially you feel only social media distracts you, but after a few weeks you realize that repeated unnecessary meetings are also taking a lot of your time. In such a case, you will have to add to your don't-do list that I will not join useless meetings. Similarly, keep refining your list based on your experience. Another important thing is that the don't-do list is not just for avoiding distractions, but it also gives you emotional and mental clarity. Sometimes we take decisions that are not right for us simply because we have a habit of not being able to say no. If your list says, I will not say yes to tasks that do not match my goals, it can help save you from unnecessary commitments. If you're an entrepreneur, writer, or in any creative field, this list becomes even more important because the most important thing for you is deep work, that time when you can do your best work with full focus. But if your attention keeps wandering to small distractions repeatedly, you will never be able to reach your full potential. The don't-do list gives you the clarity on which tasks to avoid so you can focus fully on your most essential tasks. This list is not only for professional life, but can be very useful in personal life too. Suppose you want to improve your health. If your don't-do list says, I will not eat junk food after 11 p.m., it will help you make the right choices. If you want to focus on your mental health, you can add to the list, I will not spend time with people who drain my energy. In the end, it is important to understand that deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what to do. We all have only 24 hours, and if we learn to put our energy in the right place, we can bring a big change to our life. Making a small don't-do list is an easy but powerful way to make your day better and more productive. In our lives, there are many tasks every day, some urgent, some less urgent. But often it happens that we remain entangled in tasks that are not that significant, and the work that actually matters the most to us gets left behind. The reason for this is that we are unable to set our priorities correctly. This is where the need for a burner list arises. This is a method by which you can keep your most important and less important tasks separate so that your energy and attention are directed in the right way. The idea of the burner list is to divide your tasks into two parts, the front burner and the back burner. The front burner includes things that are your highest priority, which you need to pay the most attention to. These are the tasks that help you achieve your big goals. On the other hand, the back burner includes things that are necessary but do not need much attention right now. These could be tasks that you can do later or that are not as critical. Imagine you are a chef and are cooking several things at once in the kitchen. On one stove, something is cooking that needs constant stirring to turn out right. This is your front burner. Meanwhile, some things are kept on a low flame, which can be looked at when the time comes. This is your back burner. Just like that, when we organize our life in this way, we can focus our energy on the right place. If you are working on a big project, that will be your front burner task. But if you also want to learn a new skill or work on a new idea, that can go on the back burner. This doesn't mean back burner tasks are useless. It just means they shouldn't get that much priority right now. This keeps your attention from wandering, and you can focus on the most necessary things. The biggest benefit of adopting the burner list is that it makes decision-making easy. Whenever a new task comes up, you can immediately decide which burner it should go to. This keeps your mind clutter-free and you don't miss important things. Its second benefit is that it saves you from multitasking. Often people try to do many things at once, and the result is that they cannot complete any work well. But when you know which task is on the front burner, you can focus fully on that and handle the rest later.
To make the burner list more effective, you can review it every week or month because priorities change with time. A task that is on the back burner today might need to be brought to the front burner after a few weeks. Therefore, updating it from time to time is necessary. This system not only increases your productivity, but it also gives you mental clarity. When your mind isn't stuck wondering what to do right now, you can work better. You can use this for small decisions in your daily life too. Like if you want to focus on fitness, keep it on the front burner. If you want to read a new book but don't have time right now, you can keep it on the back burner. In professional life too, this method is very useful. Suppose you are an entrepreneur and you have many ideas, but working on all of them at once is not possible. Then you can make a burner list to decide which idea is most important and which can be explored later. The real magic of the burner list lies in the fact that it teaches you discipline. It helps you understand that every task is not equally important, and if you pay attention to everything at once, nothing will be completed well. When you understand what to prioritize and what to keep aside for now, both your productivity and success start increasing. So if you want to manage your day better, include the burner list in your life. We have to take many decisions every day in our lives. Some small, some big. Sometimes we start thinking so much about very small decisions that our brain gets tired and no energy is left to take big decisions. This is called over-analysis, and it reduces both our productivity and confidence. The best solution for this is to adopt the superstructure decision model. This is a structured way by which you can take decisions quickly and correctly without getting stuck in excessive contemplation. Think, if every time you have to think about what to wear in the morning, what to eat for breakfast, or which email to reply to first, your brain will entangle in these small decisions. This is the reason why many successful people simplify their everyday decisions. For example, Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg always wore the same clothes so that they wouldn't have to take a decision about this every day. Similarly, if you adopt a structured decision-making framework, your brain will be able to focus on more important things. The superstructured decision model means you have a predefined system that helps you decide which decision to take and how. This way, you spend less time thinking and your choices remain aligned with your goals. This model is especially beneficial for those who often fall victim to decision paralysis. That is, when there are many options and we cannot decide which one is right. The first step to adopting this model is that you have to decide which kind of decisions you can automate. For example, if you spend time every day thinking whether you should go to the gym or not, automate it. Fix certain days of the week to go no matter what. This way, there won't be a need to take this decision every day. The second step is setting decision-making criteria. That is, whenever you have to take a big decision, you should have some predefined questions that help you pick the right choice. Like, does this decision match my long-term goals? Will my time and energy be spent in the right direction? If I take this decision wrong, what is the worst impact it could have? When you have these predefined filters, you will be able to take the right decision without thinking too much. The third step is to learn from past decisions. If you took a wrong decision earlier, analyze where the mistake happened and what can be done to avoid that mistake next time. This will improve your decision-making ability and you will be able to take more confident choices. This model not only increases your speed, but also increases your mental clarity. When you start taking decisions according to a structured process, instead of thinking repeatedly, your mind remains more relaxed and stress is also reduced. The superstructure decision model also saves you from distractions.
When you have a system, you don't pay much attention to every small thing and focus only on those things that matter the most to you. If you want to adopt this model in your professional life, you can categorize your work decisions, such as urgent tasks, important but non-urgent tasks, and completely avoidable tasks. In personal life, too, you can use it. Like, if you think every time about what to do on the weekend, you can fix some options in advance, like spending one day with family, keeping one day for yourself, and one day for a new experience.
By adopting the superstructured decision model, you will not only be able to take decisions fast, but you will also understand whether your choices are aligned with your goals or not. This is a powerful way that saves you from overthinking and makes you a smart and confident decision maker. Everyone's body works according to a special kind of rhythm called ultradian rhythms. This is the same natural cycle that keeps fluctuating our energy levels throughout the day. Many times you might have felt that at some time in the morning you feel very energetic and focused, but a few hours later, suddenly fatigue or distraction starts to be felt. This is the effect of ultradian rhythms. If we schedule our work by understanding this natural energy cycle, we can multiply our productivity many times over. Often people make the mistake of expecting the same kind of energy all day long. They think that if they work continuously from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., their output will always remain the same, but this does not happen. Our body works in cycles of every 90 to 120 minutes. That is, after about 1.5 to 2 hours, our energy starts decreasing slowly, and we need a small break. If we work according to this natural cycle, we will feel more productive and less tired. Imagine if you do the most important and demanding tasks during your highest energy level time, how efficient your work will become. And when your energy is low, you do tasks that don't demand much mental effort, like checking emails, attending meetings, or planning. This way, you will work with your body's natural rhythm, not against it. The best way to do this is to observe your energy patterns. Pay attention for a week to which time of the day you feel most energetic and focused and at what time you feel lethargy or distraction. This will let you know what your peak hours are. When you find out your peak hours, do the most critical work during those hours, work that demands the most concentration and creativity. For example, if you are a writer, do your writing in the morning high-energy hours. If you are working on a strategy or planning, keep this in your peak time too. On the other hand, when your energy is naturally low, do light tasks at that time, like calls, emails, or casual discussions. Many people feel guilt thinking that they are unable to work at high energy continuously all day, but actually doing so is not even possible. The world's most productive people also take breaks and work according to their body's natural energy. When you understand how your body works, you can organize your work in a smart way. Another big benefit of adopting ultradian rhythms is that burnout can be avoided. When we work continuously without stopping, our energy gets completely finished and we get tired quickly. But if we take breaks at the right time, keeping our energy cycles in mind, our efficiency remains intact and we can work at high performance for a long time. If you want to apply this approach in your life, first, make your daily schedule a bit flexible. It is not necessary that you perform the same at all times. You just have to understand which hours are your most productive and which hours you need to relax. For example, if you feel the most energy between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., do the most important and challenging work at that time. Then from 12 to 12:30, take a small break. Walk, drink water, or rest for a while. After this, return to work, but now prioritize light tasks. These small things can bring a huge change to your productivity. This is not just time management, but a method of energy management. When you start working according to your ultradian rhythms, you will find that you are able to do more work with less effort than before, and your mind is feeling fresher and more focused. In this book, we learned that action creates motivation, not the other way around, and that lowering your standards can help you overcome the inertia of perfectionism.
We also explored powerful tools like the don't do list and the burner list to prioritize effectively, along with the importance of managing your energy through ultradian rhythms. If you apply even one of these lessons in your daily life, you will start noticing a real change in your productivity and mindset.